as you know, I tried to get an RV a couple months ago, and that was a total fiasco with the ugly green thing. And although I'm kind of regretting it now, although I feel like I learned a lot from that, you know. But the other thing is, so now at the end of this month, I'm going to get an RV. I mean, that's the plan. I'm waiting for some money to come in, and when it comes in, I'm going to get an RV for around $2,000, and I'm going to start this journey. And again, and I've told my family this, they're kind of like leery about the whole thing, you know, but I told them we're doing this, man, and it's just the way it's going to be. And yeah, my wife's kind of like, I don't know, you know, but it really came to a head with this current living situation. So basically I was paying $1,200 a month to share this townhouse with this lady. And, you know, so we're all struggling to pay the rent at this place. You know, she's struggling to pay it. She has her own reasons on why she needs to be there. She has some other issues going on. But what I'm always amazed at is how, you know, she and now us included, we run around to get this rent money for this landlord who recently called from Hawaii. You know, it's like he was like, you know, calling about the rent from Hawaii, and I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, why? Like, this townhouse is nice, okay? It's in a nice neighborhood. It's nice. It's the whole thing, you know. But it's like, you know, what am I really giving up, right? So we're running around trying to get, you know, because she's not fully employed either. Like, we're both kind of self-employed types, or she does odd jobs, whatever. And so, you know, she has to Airbnb sometimes or whatever, you know. And then, you know, it's just crazy. I'm like, why are we running around to get this rent to this guy? Like, we're not getting anything out of this deal other than just comfort for a while and convenience. Like, we're buying time. And so that got me thinking about this whole idea of buying time versus buying property, you know, or buying an asset, you know. And like I said, I'm just rambling here, but I just feel like I just saw it so clearly, and I realized, like, that's the problem, you know. That's the crux of the issue. Like, you know, this whole paradigm, like, you know, the financial system wants us to think that way. Like, you don't even question it. It's like, you got to buy time with rent. You got to buy time with your mortgage. You got to buy time with your credit cards. So, you know, it's all time-based, and they love it because, you know, think about it. You're a millionaire. You got $1 million cash. You want to get a 10% return or more on your money, right? And you would like that consistently, right? So if you can find somebody that you can loan it to buy a house, and they're going to pay you, you know, this interest rate over 30 years, I'm not saying it's 10%, but with compounded interest over 30 years is decent. You know what I mean? And then you do that, and you're making this money from the interest from this person. Or let's say you're a landlord and you own a property and you rent it out to somebody. I mean, you know, it's the same kind of deal, right? It's, you know, you're making this income from this property. I mean, it's an asset for them, and we're the ones providing the income on that asset, right? And it's time-based. So basically, you know, they can kind of filter out the uncertainties of life, or what appear to be uncertainties, you know, or what I would rather say, it would appear to be that they're filtering it out, because we can't truly filter out the uncertainties. They're going to happen. But from their perspective, it's like, once you sign that contract, be it a rental agreement, a credit card agreement, a loan agreement, or a mortgage agreement, from their perspective, this is awesome, man. You know, it's like, I'm going to get these time payments every month from this person. And that's what they call passive income. You know, you hear about that, like, you know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and all these gurus, you know, are talking about, you want passive income. Well, sure, but we're the cowteats that are being used for the passive income. And you're never going to get out of this rat race that way, you know? The only way out is to just bail out. And I just see that now, and I guess I just got caught up in it, and I thought, oh man, if I just work hard enough, if I just work a little harder, work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, get more clients, work harder, you know, then eventually, you know, I'll get ahead of the game. It's just BS. Like, no, it's like, just get out of the game altogether, right? It's crap. So I realized, like, and if you're born into that system, like, you born into a situation where your parents have a mortgage and your parents are paying rent and they have credit card debt and they have debt and half, a big portion of their life is paying off this debt. I mean, sure, like the debt total is like 10% of your income. Sure, that's not a big deal. But when the total debt payments are going into a third, half of your income, then it's going to affect your life, right? And I just was raised that way, and it's like, and then there's just this constant stress in the background, and you may not realize it. Like if you're getting a good paycheck and everything's kind of going fine, it can seem kind of manageable. But when you try to break out of that system, like let's say you have some job and it's going pretty good, and then one day you're like, I really would love to do something completely different. I want to go and do whatever. But then it's like, oh, but I can't because I have these bills, right? I have a mortgage, I have a lease, I have all these credit card debt. Now what you want to do is dependent on or a function of this debt. And this is where the problem is. So I could just go on about this forever. But I would just say that like for a lot of people, this is a problem, and especially in Los Angeles where to live a half decent anything, to have a little space, you got to pay half your income. For most people, a third, half your income has to go to just rent. We're not even talking to other stuff. And, it's just crazy. So I see that now, and that's just giving me so much more motivation to break free of this by doing the RV thing. And so I'm going to do it. And I'm calling it RV 2.0 for now until I have a better name. But yeah, we're going to do it. And we're gonna hunker down. Did I say hunker down? We're just gonna do whatever it takes to make it work. And I don't even want to do an RV park, man. I don't pay any freaking rent to nobody. If the trade-off is comfort versus these huge payments or payments that are gonna cramp my lifestyle as far as the freedom I need to actually pursue the interests that I feel are an investment in my life, my kids' life, or the true work I feel like I was born to do, then forget it. I'd rather freaking sleep in a tent in a park if I had to, or in my car, or an RV or a boat or whatever I can do to keep that cost as low as absolutely possible. Now, of course, there's always the utility factor of having a place, and you have running water and toilets and all that stuff, and it's convenience, right? But is the utility of that convenience worth it? Let's say I had a business and I have to do sales or I have to, produce something and because I can sit in one spot and not have to worry about running water and stuff, I can actually go and do more sales and make more money or make more product and sell more product or whatever. Sure, if the cost of that place, whatever it is, the utility of being there makes you more efficient so you can actually do more of what you're trying to do, then sure. But right now I feel like, honestly, it's the opposite. I don't feel like it's worth it. I mean, for me, like someone else it might be, but I'm just tired of existing, man. I'm tired of just trying to live, and not only that, trying to live some image that I have been taught or think is going to impress someone else or make me more legitimate or accepted or whatever. Because people, when they think about homeless people, it's like, oh my God, they're homeless. Oh my God. And I just think it's because it just scares them. It scares them that they think, oh, what if that happens to me? And I think people just don't want that mirror. So that's what's really going on. But I don't freaking care anymore, honestly. I don't care what people think. I mean, I got to do the work I came here to do. And I just feel like rent is against that. These are mutually exclusive things. It's like, if I'm paying rent, I'm not doing my dream work. Because just the other day, I was, fundraising for one of my projects, and, it didn't bring in a ton of money, but I thought, if I have to pay $1,000 a month, in a month rent, then of course everything I do is a function of that. Like I think, oh, well, if I do this activity, will it bring in $1,000 a month so I can pay the rent? If I do this activity, if I sell these things, if I make these things, But I realized, if I have a paradigm where I don't have rent, I don't have any rent costs. I mean, obviously, if you're in an RV or boat, you're going to have other costs. There's always going to be a cost of living, right? But let's just say, it's much smaller than that, right? then that's going to affect what I feel I can do, you know? If my total living cost is only 100, is what total is 300 a month, then that's going to free me up to do more of my dream work, you know, because I don't have my rent costs are much lower. But when if my rent cost is 3,000 a month, that's going to obviously affect what I feel I can do with my time. So I guess at the end of the day, it's like, whose time is it? Is it your time, or is it, the 1%'s time? And I'm not saying the 1% just to be hyping on some 1% thing. It's true. There's income inequality in America is at an all-time high, and that, they say, 1% of the population owns like half the wealth or something. That means that you're interacting with that 1% as most of the day. Like, if you go to buy something, you're probably like buying it from one of their stores that they've invested in, or it's like all around you, but it's hidden in a myriad of forms, a million forms. It's hidden, and we don't realize it. But I'm telling you, man, me and my friends, like, I feel a noose tightening. It's like you just feel like you're in this box, and it's just getting harder and harder to live, and you just feel like you're suffocating. Like your spirit wants to soar and be free, and you just want to like get out and do stuff, and you can't, because this noose is tightening and tightening, and it's mostly, this noose, I would say, is in the form of debt. Okay, so anyway, that's it. That's enough freaking ranting for now. I don't know if the RV thing is going to solve this problem. I mean, I might be just trading one guillotine for another. Like there's the rent guillotine, and then if I'm in an RV, I'll be dealing with the police guillotine, and the where to find a spot guillotine, and the safety guillotine, and there's where to get water and electricity, where to take a bath, where to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm going to be like, all those guillotines are going to be there, all those worries. But I'm going to give this a shot, because we can always go back to renting. But I'm going to do everything in my power not to rent again. I swear, man. If I have to, like I said, live in a tent in a park or car or whatever, a boat, I'm done. Like, I need to own something, and that's mine, that I can have some control over the space. So that gets into a whole nother thing, which is like, I've been watching these rental ads. Like my roommate sent me this ad I think it's a scam, but I started looking at some other ads on, I think it was Hot Pads or something. And so for a split second, I thought, because it was for a house for $1,000, which is totally like, I'm like, there's something wrong with this picture. It was like a 2-bedroom house, and I'm like, I started thinking about it. Well, maybe I could keep renting. It would be nice, it's like a disease, man. It really is. I just, I don't want that pressure on me anymore. I just want a natural flow, like, no cost. You get some money, however you get it, and then it accumulates. You're able to save, you're able to build something, then you invest it in something, some land, a boat, an RV. And even if, I know boats and RVs like depreciate, right? But so what? I mean, even so, as long as that depreciation is a lot less than the cost of renting, it's okay. So it just depends, but if you get an older RV, then it shouldn't be that much of an issue. I don't think they're going to appreciate that much. As long as it's running, when the older RVs, it gets more into the utility value of them, right? So, but anyway, I started being tempted again, and then I started looking. I looked at some other rooms for rent in the area, in the same complex, and I'm just looking at these requirements these people have. It's like, oh, non-smoke, it's like, basically, I want your money, and you have to meet all these requirements for me, right? And what do you get in exchange? A room. And ideally, I'd like you to just come and work and pay the rent, and don't bother me, and don't enjoy the space, really. Just give me your money so I can have rent or make income off of you. I'm like, what kind of bull crap is this? Like, people are stupid to fall for this crap, man. It's like, this is garbage. Like, I guess with the demand in LA for rental units, they could be demanding like this. They can, because you put an ad in LA for an apartment, you are going to get hit up with all kinds of people. It's like, oh, you have to have like perfect credit. You have to give me first and last deposit. You have to be this quiet professional. It basically just crawls in, pays the rent, eats in his room, and leaves, and doesn't, disturb me in any way, but give me this rent money every month. I'm like, what a bunch of bull. wow. I'm like, this is garbage. I ain't playing this game. I mean, but hey, they can put it out there and people can bite. I mean, it's everyone's choice, but no one's forcing you to bite for that. But no wonder there's a freaking homeless problem in LA with the landlords putting these requirements up. Like, this is stupid. Like, this city in LA is so like schizophrenic with the way it goes about housing. It's just beyond dumb. I mean, they have all these restrictions. It's like impossible to rent a place. They do reverse psychology, like, oh, we're the you know we're the even though we're the customer technically, they do reverse psychology, like, oh, we're just so blessed to be able to rent your place. Oh, landlord, please take my money. It's like this. Oh, I'm so grateful that you would just let me stay here for just 1 month or whatever. It's just like, oh, thank you, for this space. And that's the attitude. And it's like, that's garbage. I am so out of this system right now. You have no idea. I am so done. So that's my rant for today. I don't know if you got anything out of that. Let me know what you think in the comments. It was pretty a lot of rambling there, but I just had to get this off my chest, and I wanted to share it with you. And tell me what you think. How are your feelings on this whole thing? Maybe there's some perspective I don't understand. I mean, we'll find out in a minute. So yeah, that's it for now.